When Iceland adopted the 4-day work week for 2,500 workers, they accidentally discovered the biggest productivity hack of our time. And I'm going to share exactly how we can apply these concepts to work less and get more done. The 4-day workweek trial in Iceland reduced the amount of hours workers had to work over a week from 40 to 36 hours. Instead of spread across 5 days, they only had to work 4 days a week. Overall, the trial was a success, and not only did the workers' job satisfaction increase, I would be if I had to work less and get paid the same, right? They found there were less sick leaves and the productivity remained either the same or it has increased. So what can we learn from this trial? Well, basically, the trial provided a really strong real-world evidence for Parkinson's law. Parkinson's law states that the work will expand to fill the time that's available for its completion. In other words, if there was an assignment due in 2 weeks, but the time that is actually required to complete that assignment only takes 1 week, you would still end up using the full 2 weeks to finish the work. With the reduced work hours from 40 to 36, the workers had to eliminate those time-wasting activities, things that they are doing that is not actually contributing to the overall productivity of the project, and use the time more effectively. So despite having 4 hours less every week, they didn't get any less work done, but the amount of work done was the same, or they got even more things done during those 36-hour work period. So what can we use this finding to our advantage? Well, you can self-impose deadlines to the work that you want to do. Just by giving it a deadline, then it kind of creates the urgency for that project to be done. But just by having that deadline probably isn't enough to push ourselves to actually finish the work within the time frame, because we know that it is something that we set rather than an actual deadline. Like there isn't going to be any consequences if we didn't complete those tasks during that period. So what I usually do is try to set up some accountability or consequences if I didn't get to complete it within the deadline. If I had just told myself that I have to publish 1 YouTube video every single week, then I might stick to it, but I might not, because I'm the only person who knows this deadline. But if I go and tell all my friends and family members that I am posting 1 video every single week, then that creates accountability. And obviously, I don't want to be someone who's not accountable. So then I would make sure that I actually stick to that promise. Another thing that I like to do to create urgency of a certain task is to basically schedule my day so that there is only a certain limited hours of time for me to complete that task, like filming this YouTube video right now. Last night, I asked my friends to go out for hiking tomorrow. I intentionally set that time to meet with her at 11 a.m. So that means I only have from the time I wake up until probably 10 a.m. to film this YouTube video. So just giving myself only 2-3 hours to finish this task creates the urgency that I have to do it right now. So that is one way you can utilize the Parkinson's law to avoid wasting your time and get more things done in shorter time period. Do you think the 40-hour work week is outdated? Let me know in the comments below. The second takeaway that we can learn from this trial is that they measured success by the outcome rather than by the amount of hours worked. Rather than measuring how much hours you've worked on this project, why not track the actual project progress? Again, just using my YouTube video example, if I just track the amount of time that I spend on my YouTube channel, it doesn't necessarily translate to doing the things that moves the needle. But if I focus on the outcome of the work, it could be structuring and outlining my videos, doing thumbnails, whatever it is, it's measuring the work that I've completed rather than the amount of time that I put in. But there's a trap that I want you to avoid. Try to not measure your work by the outcomes that you can't control. So things like, for my YouTube video, it could be subscriber counts or the number of views that I get on those videos. Initially, the growth stage could be quite slow and you don't really get that immediate gratification when you do those work. So I don't want you to get discouraged by measuring those external outcomes that you can't control. Focus on the output of the work that you're doing rather than the external factors. And the third takeaway from this trial that we can learn from is that the Iceland workers showed improved energy and focus when they got back to work after the 3 days weekend. So this outlines the importance of rest and recovery. The workers had more time to rest, take care of their health, exercise, eat healthy. So when they got back to work, they were a lot more energized, more focused, and were able to get more things done, therefore increase the productivity of their work. So I wanted to remind you that although we are so focused with our work, don't forget to take breaks and actually scheduling your break so that you don't forget them after a long day of work. Taking breaks in between work sessions definitely help with focus and energy levels, but also it is really important to completely disconnect from work for a certain period of time. When you give your body and mind time to rest and recover, the increased focus that you're going to have for your next session is going to be more than enough to compensate for the slightly reduced work hours. These takeaways from the Iceland trial are really game changers, but it's only going to work if you actually focus during that reduced hours. If you don't, then you're just going to panic about getting everything done in less time. That's why I'm covering deep work in my next video, starting with the technique that matters most. I'll see you over there.